Welcome to Chase The Vase Podcast, where we share stories about those who have fought to overcome addiction. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday for the latest stories, tools, and tricks to sobriety. Now, here's your host, Brock Bevel.
We are live on Chase The Vase Podcast.
Live.
I'm here with the Soberfausto. Oh man, this guy is a legend. He is, let me give you some background on this dude before we start.
Ooh.
This guy's a motivational speaker, which is super sick. Do you have like a genre you try to attack?
Right now, I just try to find people who just want hope in their lives. It's mainly the genre that I attack. So whoever you are, we all want connection. So I just try to help people find hope in their hopeless times to build that connection.
So you are a recovery coach as well?
Right.
This is kind of cool. You're an author. What have you published?
So right now I'm in the middle of getting a book published. So I've been writing a book called Suffer Joyfully. And it's a book about how to suffer with joy in life, to break the cycle of falling into the same situation over and over again.
Right on, man. And here we go. Let me how I actually found you. Okay. I'm going to tell the story. You are the jump rope king. So, man, my thing is, how do you become the king? You know what I mean? How do you not become like just a jump rope guy? But how do you become the king?
Yeah, I think it's a God thing for sure. When I got sober, I had a jump rope in my bag, and I used that to stay out of my head. Little did I know that my obsession for my addiction was channeled through the rope. And I didn't know there was a whole jump rope community out there. And before I knew, I didn't realize how fast and precise I was at what I did. So the number one guy in the world that I would watch videos of, I would visualize, I want to meet this guy one day and tell him that his jump rope saved my life. Well, a couple months down the road, I ended up having dinner with him in Washington, D.C. And now he's my mentor. And I'm one of the only people who can do what he can do. And so with that, people know me as the jump rope king because people don't understand how to do what we do.
So tell me what it is you do, man. Like, is it the modality of it? Is it, because first of all, everybody that's listening to this is going to Soberfausto and they're going to check their jump roping skills out. Because everybody's like, yeah, dude, I can jump rope,
Right.
This is not jump roping, my man. You are like, this is like jump roping on crack. I mean, what do you,
Right.
How do you put it,
No, I think you put it perfectly, right? It's jump roping on crack. What you see is the proper way to jump rope. First of all, that's what we teach. This is the proper form to jump rope for people that are athletes at a pro level who want to get that one step beyond their opponents. And so what we do is it's a mixture of speed, precision, and not dexterity. I can't think of the word right now. Swagger, right?
Swagger in there.
And we mix up the proper ways of how to be, very effective, very fast, where you don't hurt your body, but what it does is it helps your mind, body, and soul. So that's when people see what I do. It's like, I'm not going to throw the rope in the air and catch it. I'm not going to wrap it around my body all the time or do backflips. What I do is like, I'm going to teach you how to jump rope that will change your life. And that's what you see. You see a person fighting for their life. And that's what separates what we do. And that's why when you see all that, I'm not jumping rope for attention. I'm jumping rope to survive. And that's what we teach.
So talk to me. How does jumping rope keep you sober, man?
Yeah. So 3 things: oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. Those are the 3 things that the body releases when you're jumping rope with proper form. Little do we know in addiction, those are the 3 things that we're addicted to. That's why we get high. So when you can jump rope, you start to replace those things in your body little by little. What those create is connection. You feel connected. We drink and use to feel connected because we felt so different. So jumping rope, little did I know, was doing the same effect at a slower pace, but doing it so long before I knew it, that craving was gone. The obsession was lifted. And now I'm addicted to jumping rope. And it's a positive thing. And that's what it does. So to me, jumping rope is a good tool to use if you struggle with addiction.
Man, what's your platform? Like, where do you show people this?
Yeah, on my Instagram, I have some tutorial videos on my IGTVs. Other than that, just in person, I do jump rope meetups. I meet with people. My YouTube channel, I started about 2 months ago. And it's more on the counseling and, empowerment. But I am thinking about putting some jump rope videos out there. We're just kind of waiting because we have some big things coming in the jump rope industry. And out of respect for my mentor in it, we're waiting for this COVID to die out so we can show the world what we got. Because they would go to all the CrossFit gyms around the world. They do the Olympics. Like, they go out there and do those type of events.
Listen, Fausto, my man, here's the deal. I think I'm a good jump roper, right?
Right.
when I was in grade school, I was the jump rope guy.
Oh, you're the jump rope champ, huh, in elementary
Right,
school.
right. In elementary school, okay, man. Now I CrossFit every day, and I cannot do double unders to save my life.
What? You do
I'm telling
CrossFit, you can't double under?
I can't. So I'm hearing your skills, man, and totally impressed. Yeah. So let's talk about your sobriety, man. I know you've gone through some things this new year, but really, what I want to know is like, how are you staying sober? How long? I mean, not that I care in years how much time you have, but how are you doing with your sobriety?
Yeah, it's a good question right now. So, all throughout my time, I have a little over 3 years of sobriety. The first year for me, my sponsor tells me this. He goes, and God must have loved you because he gave you a pink cloud for a whole year. He's like, I was worried about you when you took your 1 year chip. I had like 60 to 80 people show up. I got all dressed up, had video cameras in there filming me, share my story. When I was done, I was like, peace out, and left the meeting. So I think for me, that first year, God knew, like, hey, man, you need some spiritual pride this first year to get through it. You don't realize how sick you are. So I would utilize, jumping rope. I put all my stories on Instagram from day one, my journey. I was traveling by myself. I was meditating, did ice bath therapy like Wim Hof. I went vegetarian for a year. I mean, I just went all out and I developed an addiction to self-developmental books. So I would read and apply it to my life. And then the second year came the depression year, all the emotions, the terrible twos, as I heard. And that year is where I got humbled. I had 3 jobs not work out. I tried moving different cities. That didn't work out. In that span, like I was suicidal. I started questioning my sobriety. I remember thinking like, maybe, God has me as the person that dies to be an example to people. Like that's how dark it got. But what helped me through that process was a meeting called ACA, Adult Children of Alcoholics. And that book gave me exactly what I felt. And this is when you get sober, you go to this now. This is what you work on when you're sober. So that got me out of the depression. And in my third year of sobriety, this was like the high. I mean, I moved to Irvine, which is like, the bougie part of Orange County. I got a car, brand new car. I got a career job making more money than I've ever made. I did the motivational speaking now. I got my master's degree in theology. I'm a counselor. I'm a pastor. We're baptizing people, housing people, relationship, taking care of my family. I was able to move my sick mom into her own place with my younger sister, So that year was just a lot of service work, being of service, helping people all across the world, traveling. I went to Thailand. And what's crazy is because like that question on December 26th, I caught my partner that I was going to marry. I caught her cheating on me the day after Christmas, like 18 days ago. And I lost my home. I lost my relationship. I lost my heart and I lost my identity because 2021 for me was like, okay, I'm going to propose. I'm going to work on myself some more. We're going to do some big things. I know I'm launching my business. I'll help bring in some more income so we can actually do more. And what's kept me sober during that, I'm sure, betrayal for a guy, especially in recovery. Oh my gosh, is all the seeds that I planted of helping people in 3 years. When the storm hit, it watered all those seeds. And I've had people all around the world sending me money for food. My pastor, he lets me sleep in the church with some guys we house. So I have that so I can help them. I have people, saying, hey, man, you can stay in my house for months. I got an extra house for you. I got an extra room for you. You can stay as long as you need to for what you've done for my son. People from New York, from Miami, from Spain, Oregon, Washington, like all across the world. And so what's keeping me sober right now is my support, knowing that I was selfless. And now I have all the people I've helped saying, we're here to help you now. So sharing my story on Instagram about it, I'm calling it Homeless and Broken. That's the new season I'm in. And all the support's been keeping me up. It's been showing me who I am and leaning on God. Like, oh my God, I haven't spoken to God this much ever in my life. It's almost like I just hear him screaming in my head during this time. And that's what's been keeping me sober right now.
Man, that's a sick story, man. So basically, good finds good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And interactive addiction, bad finds bad.
Right.
So let's talk about. I mean, year one, you said the pink cloud. Explain to the people out there listening, what does pink cloud mean?
So the pink cloud for people is like, when you try something new, it's all fun. This is the best thing ever. It's like, I'm going to start working out now. I'm going to start this new diet right now. I just got a car. I got this new job. I'm in the honeymoon stage. That's a good one, right? The honeymoon stage. It's like a honeymoon stage of your recovery where everything's new and fun and easy. You almost feel like God is visible to you at that point. Like, dude, I see God. Like I pray and he answers my prayers.
Yeah.
So the pink cloud is just that stage of your life where you feel like nothing can break me.
What was the shift, man, from year one? Because I know that 1 year is difficult for people. I mean, when I worked in recovery, guys would panic over a year because they're like, dude, I've never hit a year before. And then because of the stress, they relapse. So what was it about year two for you, man, that caused the depression, the sadness, the sorrow, what happened?
The question of now what? Now what? I hit all the year, all the chips. I did the traveling, did the meetings, got the sponsor, worked the steps. I was doing all these things, and I was like, what's going on? Like, why do I feel depressed? Why am I having anxiety? Like, I'm sober. I'm doing everything right. Am I not doing enough? And then it hit me. It's like, well, now what? Like, hey, yeah, you're sober now. Like, but now this is life. Like, life's not going to stop happening. And that's when it started to hit me because, like, a job didn't work out. I moved to LA County from Orange County, worked there for 2 months, and I didn't like that job. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? Is it because I'm weak? Is it because I'm trying to run away? Like, do I have to power through this? And then that job didn't work out. And then I started questioning my reality. I'm like, do I even want to work in treatment? Do I want to do these things? I'm like, holy shit, sobriety's a lot harder than I thought. I got full of myself. I thought everything was just going to fall into place because God was answering all my prayers. And then little do I know, it's like, dude, I got so much more issues than I thought. And
hold on, say it again. Sobriety's what?
What did I say? Sobriety is
harder than you thought?
Oh, sobriety's harder than I thought. A lot harder, It's like the mental health, I think, comes into play the second year. Understanding like, damn, dude, yeah, I do have abandonment issues. I do fear rejection. I do care what people think about me. I do strive on the attention of things. And I love attention. I love being the center of attention. And like that second year, it's just like, holy crap, dude, like I'm burning out. It's just like, reality kicked in. It's what it is. It's like, oh shit, this is what normal people live like. This is like life, like shit happens. So yeah, that was like,
how'd you get through it, man? What'd you do? Because right there, most people buckle. The trend, you've seen it. People get a little bit of stress, especially get some time under their belt. They're like, the 3 worst words you could ever say, I got this.
Oh, overconfidence, right?
I got this. Ooh. And you're like, whoa, slow down.
Once you got it all figured out, you don't got it all figured out. That's that fine line of like what people fail. And for me, I believe why I didn't relapse is because I did the thing that they said not to do was I didn't stop going to meetings. I still went to meetings. I still had my sponsor. I had my sponsee. And I was always of service. So because I had that, I had my church, I had my Bible study. Because I had that, I'm a vulnerable person. So I would share exactly how I feel. I want to kill myself. I feel suicidal. I feel depressed. What's going on? How do I get through this? So always keeping that mindset and always being around my support group, that's what helped me because people would say, hey man, it's called the terrible twos. Hey man, I get it. It's the emotional year now. And I was like, wait, really? So that kind of helped me find hope, which then brought me to a book called The Second Year of Sobriety. This guy wrote it and it's all about the terrible twos and it breaks down all these stories of people. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly how I feel. Okay, so I'm supposed to feel like this. That's what helped me accept it and move forward.
Okay, so then we bump into 3. What happened?
So when 3 started, right when 3 started, what did I guess? October. Okay. For 3, that's when, in that year of the 3, it was so good because I got a new job. And this is cool. It's a totally God thing. So I remember I was at the point where the 2 jobs didn't work out that year, second year. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I don't want to go back to bartending because that's what I used to do. I bartended and DJ'd. I'm like, dude, it's just not good. Finally, I get to a place. I just get back from Thailand and I come back thinking like, man, that shit sucked because I knew what I was coming back to. I knew I was coming back to no job, not knowing what I'm going to do. So I said, all right, God, what do I do? Do I go back to school? Because I was a high school dropout. So I went online, signed up for a course to be a counselor. I said, okay, I'm just going to do it. Screw it. I'm just going to sign up. No going back. Signed up. Total stressed out. I'm like, I'm probably going to fail because I don't know how to study and I'm going to waste all this money. 2 days later, after I signed up for school for a counselor, I get a phone call. Hey, Fausto, I know you came for an interview and we didn't have any room for you for a technician in a drug and rehab. I was like, okay, that's fine. It is what it is. He goes, but I have a position as a counselor. I go, counselor? I go, well, don't you need a degree for that? He goes, we have people who have degrees so you can work under them. Do you want to do that? And I was like, what the hell? Like I just signed up for school for it. The night before I cried to God, crying specific. I said, God, you know my heart. You know I'm a good person. Why the F are you putting me through this? I feel like I don't need to be begging for you. Like I'm helping my family. I'm helping people out. Like I'm so selfless. I just need help right now. And I'm going to get specific because I heard God likes when you're specific. So I said, realistically, I just want a job that pays at least this amount of money. It's not a lot of money, so I can pay my own bills, pay my family's rent. That's it. Give it to me. And the next morning I get that call and get hired as a counselor. So that was the beginning of it. And in that span, I learned to be a counselor, which was fun. I got to that's when COVID happened too. So COVID happens. And I tell people with COVID, I was like, dude, COVID was the best thing because of COVID happened. For one, I didn't care because I don't go out to places. I'm a minimalist, and the world doesn't really capture my attention. I'm all about, the spiritual realm and helping people. So we still had a house that we house people at. We didn't shut down. We have a place where we invite all the people that need help, that people didn't want to let them in their churches or AA meetings. We had a place. So I was always around people. We had events of 200 to 300 people with live bands, motivational speaking. We had that going on. I spoken with Tim Story, which is Oprah Winfrey's really good friend. Quincy Jones is his mentor. He's spoken on Grant Cardone's 10X. I spoke at an event with him. I got a new car for the first time, went to a dealership and got a car. I moved to Irvine. So I moved into a nice area. And the year was just full of so much joy because I was like, man, thank God that I'm a spiritual person now because of recovery. Because when everything shut down, I didn't lose my job. I didn't lose myself. I didn't lose anything. I gained more in that time. So my third year was really good. It was really, really phenomenal.
So tell me about this. So as a counselor, man, what's the best advice right now you're giving to somebody in early recovery?
That anything is possible. And all you got to do is focus on what your beliefs are, because it's your beliefs that are giving you a perspective that you can't be what you want to be. And if we change that, then you change everything.
Nice, man. So talk to me about this power of real connections. I know that you're big on connections. You're big on people. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the power of it.
Yeah, I mean, connection is everything, right? Connection is the opposite of addiction. Connection is the thing that we're built for. And I believe that everybody in life wants connection. So if we can figure out how to build connection, then you're not going to have to worry about going through life alone. You don't have to worry about doubting yourself. You just don't have to worry about the things of this world that make us insecure and in fear. Because connection is love. Connection is God. So I'm a big believer on connection, because nothing in life has ever been done alone. There's nothing. You can look at any big speaker, book writer in times, and everything was done with a team, right? So that says something, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. So I just tell people, focus on connection, because connection is going to be the thing that helps you when the storm arises, and it will arise.
It will rise.
And you're not going to like it, but it's what you prayed for. I tell people, be careful what you pray for, because it'll come in a way that's going to knock you down, but it's exactly what you need.
So let's go on the flip side, man, because I know in addiction, we carry around some toxic people. And we becoming attracted to them, man. You know what I mean?
We love toxic people. I love them.
You know what I'm saying? Like good in, good out, bad in, bad out. Like in active addiction, we're attracting ourselves to that. So once we get sober, talk to me about like, how do we stop attracting these toxic people in our lives?
I think there's really no one formula for it, because, we have different toxic ways. I know one way is you got to admit that you're toxic yourself, right? It begins with that. I'm toxic. Okay. Now what? Okay. Well, let's write out the toxic traits that you have. And once we write out those toxic traits you have, now you have a physical inventory of who you are. Okay. Now let's figure out why you're like that, and you have those things based on your childhood, monkey see, monkey do. And the underlying thing is fear. You fear and you act this way. So once we can acknowledge that and accept that, the way that you got to work through that is acting as if, right? You got to act as if. What is the opposite of this trait that you have that's toxic? And you got to practice being those things when the time arises. And it's a journey. That's the thing. It's a journey. But you got to be willing to do it, because it's not easy. That's where the action comes into play in life. People think step 4 is the hardest one. It's like, nah, dude, step 6 and 7 is the hardest, man. I got to change. I can't just be sober. It's like, I can't just sponsor people. I can't just, make my amends. Like, no, you got to change you, or you're going to be that person that turns people away from the meetings, because they're like, that guy's a dick. It's like, yeah, because he has to change himself.
Year 2, man, you were experiencing some of these character defects that were rearing up, man. So this is exactly what you're talking about. How did you start connecting to the dots to them And how did you start healing so they didn't just keep coming back and attacking you?
Right. Well, I think they always come back, right? I think certain ones don't come back, like the alcohol and the drugs, right? That's the biggest thing ruining our lives. So that's the first defect of character, I believe, that gets removed. And then from there, we have all these other ones that we carry around us that I call survival traits. And in year 2, well, I think what it was that we have more clarity now, right? You get past that first year, and now in the second year, you start to see more. Because more is always revealed, right? God's not going to give us things right away that we can't handle. He goes, look, man, you're pretty jacked up, and I don't want to let you know how jacked up you are. So I'm going to give you about 3 of them right now. Let's give you 3 in the beginning. And then next year, I'll show you some more. So the second year was just more came up that I didn't even realize. And I realized those things through working with others, because I would notice things about people that bothered me. I'm like, this is really annoying. And then I was like, wait, why is it annoying? Wait, I did that. I do that. That's why I can recognize it, because we can recognize familiar behavior. It's called the mirror effect. So the mirror effect really helped me that second year seeing, because my mind was being humbled, right? So I get a chance to look at myself, and by seeing those things, I just had to again take the action again. Okay, let's relook at this. Like, I do have more issues on how do I work through this? Because defects will always be there. If we didn't have any, we would be perfect, and if we were perfect, we wouldn't need God. And it says too, like in biblical sense, there's a thorn in his neck, right? So the thorn represents the defect. I need to have certain defects stay there, so I remember that I can't do this alone, and then I need to stay in prayer and of service.
So what was your biggest defect that you had to get rid of right away?
Okay, aside from the drinking, the using was
Yeah, right.
was always giving advice. Oh my God, I didn't realize that how damaging that was. I was at my job as a server. The first 9 months I stood as a server in my sobriety, because my boss, I told everybody at my job what was going on. They didn't fire me. They gave me a chance, and his dad's in recovery. So, they were like a family there. So I was there in my sobriety, and I would always look at my buddy who was total opposite of us. He's not a party guy. He's to himself, the mechanic, the big chunky guy in the back. He's always just angry. And I go, hey, why does everybody here talk to you about their problems? Like, I don't get it. I take everybody out to eat. I take them out to the bar. I celebrate their birthdays. I throw in surprise things. Like, what is it? He goes, it's because I don't give them advice. I just listen. And it hit me. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, dude. He's like, you think people always want you to give them advice? That comes off as like, you're basically belittling them, like you know more. And what happens is they get shut off to that. Now they know, okay, Fausto's not going to listen to me. He's going to try to change me. That's not what I want. That was the first big one that hit me hard. And it's been the biggest blessing of my life to work through that, because I can see how listening is what creates connection, not talking.
My mind's going right now. I'm like, man, am I a listener, or am I talking? Man, I gotta hit this out, man. So you posted, I saw this post that I really liked. You said passion is found in our pain, right? And don't wish it was easier, right? Those are a couple things I saw. So when you talk about passion, it's found in your pain. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so I believe in life we all have a purpose, right? That's why we're born on purpose, to have a purpose. And what we go through in life is what are our gifts to help others, right? So what we go through in life, if we do it with joy, then we grow through it. You don't just go through life, you grow through life. And that's the pain, right? Growing pains. So pain ignites passion. When we're in pain and we want to overcome it, we become passionate about it, right? So pain comes. So pain, I got this pain, right? Okay. God gave me this pain for a reason. That gives me purpose now. Now I know I'm meant to help people that struggle with this. That ignites passion, because passion is the thing that you do from an emotional place where you don't have to get motivated to do it. You just do it. So that's why I say, your passion, your pain creates your passion. What triggers your passion is pain. It's the 3 P's: pain, passion, purpose. So that's why I tell people, like, because think about it. Like me, I've been sexually abused as a kid. I was molested. I was addicted. My dad abandoned me. He's physically abusive. My mom got cancer 3 times. I've been cheated on multiple times. I've been bullied. I have social anxiety. I have all these things going on. Okay, how can I look at this in a better light? I had to believe that God put me through this for a reason, because God gives his strongest battles to his strongest warriors. So in that, I took all that pain and gave it a purpose, and it became my passion. And that's what's carried me through this whole 3 years of life.
So is that when you're jumping rope, man, you can just like, it exudes confidence. It just like bleeds out of you. You know what I mean? It's like, I love it, man. I can see it. So when you said you kind of transferred addictions, you took all that pain, all that frustration, and you put it into like an outlet.
Right. Because that's the thing, as addicts, I believe we have the gift of obsession. It's the gift. We just channeled it to the wrong thing. So if we channel it to the wrong thing, that means we still have that gift. So what do we need to do? We need to start channeling it into healthy things. If we don't, then you're going to go back to your addiction, or you're going to beat yourself up and not find joy in being sober.
Okay. So because you opened your bag and found a jump rope, you just picked it up and started doing it. There had to be something more to it.
No, I mean, that's really it. So when I was 20 years old, I got sober at 25. When I was 20 years old, I always wanted to be like my cousin when I was a kid. So I still have that like mindset. I would always look up to him. And he, when I was 20, he had that jump rope in his bag. And he goes, look at this guy jumping rope. His name is Buddy Lee. And I want to do that one day because my cousin jumped rope. So that I got the rope then, but I was in my addiction for those 5 years. So when I was 25, that's why I still had the rope. And I felt in my heart, I'm going to be the best jump roper in the world. And I'm going to meet this guy who made this rope and told him how grateful I am. That's just what I felt like. I felt it. I just felt it so true to my story. So in my rock bottom, I was at Crunch Fitness in Placentia, California for several hours because I couldn't sleep. You know what I mean? I would leave at 6 a.m. and just be there crying and jumping rope for several hours nonstop every single day, just obsessing over it. And that's what it turned into. It just turned into that because again, right? I gave it a purpose. I gave myself a vision. And because it was helping me stay sober, I became addicted to it. And that's how it became all those things. There's just so much joy in it for me.
Wow, man. Wow, I love that. How do you push that vibe, push that passion, not so much jumping rope, but just with to other people? How do you give them a voice? How do you give them an outlet?
Yeah, I think for one, I love being very personal with people, right? So I always want to know your name. I want to know your name because that's the most important thing that we all want to hear is our name. And I always want to know their story. Like, what's your story? So I get their story and then I find all the things in their life when they're telling me their story and I give it a purpose. I empower them. That's the thing. I never point out their flaws. I never talk down to them. I never judge them. All I do is accept them, love on them, share my vulnerability to open up their vulnerability. And I just constantly love on them. And those are the things. Like, I'm never going to be the person you ever see me talk down on you. I just love seeing the possibilities in that individual. And because I'm like that, the energy, the vibe is attractive. So just my personality, who I am and how I talk, that's what gets people, because I can't make it happen. God makes it happen. So I let me be an example of how I act. And I just push that on people. And that's what gets people to find that hope in themselves.
So how many people have picked up a jump rope because of Fausto?
I have no idea. That's a good question. I know I've had a good amount of people in person, on Instagram, people that I've met at jump rope meetups that are like, dude, I want to jump rope like you. I got a rope because of you. Like, look, I'm doing this trick that you showed us, and they'll tag me to it. Especially in India. In India, I'm pretty popular. It's insane.
Oh, like, really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's because I might look a little Indian. So they're like, oh, this is our brother right here, right? Yeah, support. But I guess in India, they just like that style. That style of jumping rope that I do is like, to them, it's like everything. Like, I'm like some like superhero out there. And so I know a lot of them support me. Just during COVID, they couldn't get the rope that I use because of, all the international flying, we couldn't mail it out. So we couldn't get purchases from it, but I got a lot of followers from it and a lot of good feedback.
So do you have your own rope?
I'm sponsored. So I'm on Buddy Lee Jump Ropes, and he's the king of the king. He's the master jump rope wizard, Olympic athlete in wrestling. He's amazing. If you look at him jump rope, I'm slow. It will blow your mind. People call me like the next Buddy Lee, but his ropes. So out of loyalty and him helping me, I've stood true to him. So I've never wanted to do my own rope. I've been offered other rope companies, make my own rope. I could have made money, sold videos, but because of my loyalty to him and who he is, I just stick with him, and we're just waiting because we got big plans. So when those big plans happen, we're going to launch.
Man, proud of you, dude. That's awesome, man. Number one, just, you got a good vibe about you, brother. I'm proud of you. I know there's a lot of people following you. I want to push my followers, man, to watch what you do, And not only that, but I hope they hear your story, man. I hope they don't panic at year one.
Right.
Like this is too good. The bottom's about to fall out. It can't be this good. And they hit you year two, and it's like, here comes the flood, man. The lightning's happening and everything's going around. And how can you speak to that, man? And how can you talk to tell people it's going to be okay, weather the storm? Because it's going to happen, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing I would tell you, the people that are listening that are going through that, is just stay around your support, be around your people, share what you're going through, because when you share it, you won't wear it. When you share it, you will solve it. When you share it, you'll grow from it. And just know that You have to go through the storm in order to fulfill your purpose. So when you're having a hard time, when you're depressed, when you're having anxiety, when you're living in fear, reframe it. Say, I'm feeling this way because my blessing is right around the corner. And the enemy out there, the negativity out there knows I'm about to impact the world. And the negativity doesn't want that. So now it's going into my mind, it's going into my heart, trying to trick me like something is wrong. When you can reframe it that way, it takes away the power, because the mind is the problem and the spiritual realm is the solution. So there's a spiritual solution to every problem. So stay in that frame set, be vulnerable, and you'll get through it.
Right on, brother. I appreciate that. I really do. So if I have someone contact me, they want to talk to you about doing a speaking engagement, they want to get a jump rope from you, they want to have some coaching done, they want online anything, man. So Soberfausto, and it's Fausto. They just go. Is there like a website?
Yeah, so I got a website, and if they want to book me, they can go through that. It'll go straight to my email or my marketing agent's email. And then whatever they're looking for, whether it's coaching, speaking, just to connect, they can get all the information through there. Because we got different packages, right? You can do your personal one-on-one. You can do like a bundle pack, a 3-month pack. You can do group packs. Or, if you're local, I'll come meet you in person. Yeah. We'll have some fun.
So if someone's going to come watch you live jump rope, where are you at?
Oh, I mean, right now, because of the COVID, most gyms are closed. But if you want to find me, I'm always at Crunch Fitness Placentia, or I'm just in Orange County going through different malls, different restaurants, different places, jumping around all over the city.
That's ridiculous, man. And you know what? Proud of your sobriety, man. I love that you pushed your sobriety to jumping rope and being athletic. And that's kind of where I try to push people, man. Get outside, find love in yourself, man. You have so much confidence. You exude, man. Me, it's like bleeding. I love it.
What about you? What is like your mission right now? What do you feel like your purpose is in life?
I ran a large recovery program, and it was hard, man. I love the individual one-on-one, kind of like you're saying, the one-on-one approach. I think I can touch you, man. I think I can get into your eyes. I can get in your brain. I can get a connection, if that makes sense. And I want people to know that sobriety is possible. This year, I think it was 81,000 people died from addiction in the U.S. That's too many people, man.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's 81, not from COVID, not from cancer, but addiction. And so my goal, seriously, man, if I could die breaking the stigma of addiction, if I could die, man, I'd be a happy man, because addicts are the strongest people I know. And my mission is to show it. And that's why I'm talking to a guy like you, man. I want people to see a Fausto, that this dude, he's changed his passion. Yeah, okay, he was addicted to cocaine and meth and alcohol and pills. I get that, but he stopped, man. There's their grace period, man, that you changed your life.
And I can tell to you just by your personality, just the way you do the podcast, the way you talk, the way you do your research, and just hearing the energy in your voice, I can tell that God has big plans with you. So whatever you want to do in life, just know that it's there. It's already there. It's just waiting for you. Your dreams, your vision is out there. And it's just like, hey, like, come on, Brock, just keep on moving forward. We're waiting for you. We're waiting. We had a lot of patience, and you're meant for this. And I can see that. I can see that 2021 is going to be one of your best years yet. And there's going to be days where you doubt it, but in that doubt, you're going to grow from it. And then when you receive it, it's going to be that much better. I promise you. Watch, you're going to hit me back up, and you're going to say, Fausto, you're right.
I'm going to hit you back. And I hope we do some more things together, man. I hope we can get together and see how we can help more people.
Right. You're in Arizona?
I'm in Arizona.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you ever want to come out this way, we got a podcast that's in person. It's an in-person podcast, and we had 3 famous people, 3 upcoming people, and then we get 3 people from the streets that we house. And it's a podcast. The first one's called The Nasty 9. And, it's just different stories of people in recovery, different people with God, different people doing big things in the community. And if you ever come out this way, we got a place for you to stay. You can come sleep at our church. We got a bunch of cool guys in recovery you can hang out with. And you could come out to our podcast and just hang out.
I have a son in Anaheim, so I might pick you up on that.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at, Anaheim.
Right on,
That's
man.
right. There you go.
Awesome, man. Bless you, brother. I'm serious. Thank you so much for your energy and your love for recovery and your sobriety too, man.
Thank you too for having me on here. I really do appreciate your time, your energy, because I know time is the most valuable thing we have. So thank you for sharing it with me.
Right on, brother. Keep chasing the vase. We'll talk soon.
Amen, brother.
You've been listening to Chase the Vase Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on Spotify, Anchor, or Apple Podcasts to get new, fresh weekly episodes. For more information, please follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, or visit our website, chasethevase.com. Until next time, keep chasing the vase.